Oh, really?
Blockbuster. After weeks of negotiations in one of the largest trades in NFL history, the Seattle Seahawks and Denver Broncos have agreed to terms on a deal involving Super Bowl winning quarterback Russell Wilson. The trade is pending a physical and Wilson's approval. You would have to assume that the Denver Broncos, with Nathaniel Hackett as the head coach, former offensive coordinator of the Packers, was eyeing Aaron Rodgers to become a Denver Bronco. Our source did not tell us this, but there was enough smoke around the NFL that Denver was in on the Aaron Rodgers deal. Now that Aaron goes back to Green Bay, the Denver says, fuck it, well, let's go to Seattle. What do you need? Give us Russell Wilson. Nathaniel Hackett gets a new quarterback in Denver. The Broncos get a new QB. Is Drew Lock going to be the starter for the Seattle Seahawks? Allegedly. It'll be multiple picks and players is what the Seattle Seahawks want for Russell Wilson because Pete Carroll ain't doing a rebuild. This comes just hours after it was reported that the Seahawks were interested in multiple weapons for the offense. Was that to appease Russell Wilson, or was that to rebuild the team that they knew they were going to have to build after sending Russell Wilson to Mile High, Denver, Colorado? AJ, this is a blockbuster. What a Tuesday, March 8th. Aaron Rodgers back to the Packers. Russell Wilson traded to the Broncos. I assume one domino led to the other, but this is a monumental day in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, it is. So because this happened so quickly after we hear of the Aaron Rodgers news, I would assume this has been in play for a while where they've been working on the back burner saying, hey, if Aaron doesn't come here, we want to set this up and get Russ to town, right? So the fact that this is already being reported, I would assume they've already been working out the legwork for a while.
So let's think about it because Ian Rappaport, who... yeah,
he fucked up.
Yeah, he did.
He fucked up.
He painted the entire wrong narrative.
Yes.
That wasn't real, according to our source. But I believe every insider has said that the Green Bay Packers had Plan A and Plan B. Plan A is if Aaron comes back. Plan B is if he does not. The Denver Broncos probably had similar conversations. We have Plan A if Aaron Rodgers, the man who knows our offense and we have a great relationship with, wants to come to Denver, we will do this. Plan B if he goes back to the Packers or retires. We're going up to the fish tossing city up there in Seattle, and we're getting Russell Wilson. This is via Adam Schefter. There's another tweet coming from Adam Schefter. Denver acquiring Russell Wilson has nothing to do with the Aaron Rodgers decision to return to Green Bay. Yeah. Denver general manager, General George Payton, initiated trade talks with Seattle for Wilson at least 2 weeks ago, per sources. Sure. Of course.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, natural.
Yep.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Wow.
We wanted Russell before we wanted Aaron is what they're trying to say here to Russell Wilson.
Right.
This is not because you were Plan B for us. You were always Plan A, Russell. It was always Russell for us, pal. But we all can kind of, assume that maybe there was two deals on the table, one for Aaron, one for Russell, whatever the case. The Broncos get a stud at quarterback if Russell Wilson says, yes, I will go. And this day is going to be talked about forever. And if we look across the studio at a guy who told me to look at my phone for the Adam Schefter breaking news, Tone Diggs is now staring down the reality. Aaron Rodgers ain't going to Pittsburgh.
What?
Russell Wilson can be traded. He's not going to Pittsburgh.
Right.
And there's a lot of other teams probably around the NFL that feel the exact same way as Tone Diggs.
This one hurts. Okay. Aaron's awesome, obviously. He's a two-time MVP.
Four-time MVP, back-to-back.
Sorry, back-to-back MVPs. But Russ is 5 years younger. Like, you could still get 8 years out of Russ. And, Russ is – if Russ was available, I hope there was a play made. Because if you were in on Aaron, I think you should have been on Russ too, clearly, as the Denver Broncos were. Yeah, now I'm
Okay, so this is interesting because
Mitch is still out there, right?
Mitchell Trubisky, we don't know what he's going to get paid. People are saying at least $10 million. He is now probably an Indianapolis Colt.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congrats, Mitch.
But with that being said, Russell Wilson, if he was on the trade block, you would hope that your team would have been involved.
Yeah.
I think is what we are both saying now.
Yes. Yeah. Now that it's sinking in your fucking head, too.
Yeah. You guys had no chance, though.
Listen,
Colts had no chance.
The news happened.
They didn't even have first round.
The news happened was like, holy shit. As you were talking about it, sunk in like,
Steelers aren't getting a quarterback, neither the Colts. Now, Russell Wilson has to agree to this. Denver's a beautiful city. Obviously, anybody that's ever been there has said that they absolutely love it. I don't know if that goes into it. He is in a tough division. That's what people are saying about Aaron. Aaron don't want to go to that AFC West. People think Aaron Rodgers is scared of fucking anything is interesting. And the fact that Russell Wilson's coming out of the NFC best or whatever, going to the AFC West, fascinating. 1 year ago, AFC West quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr. Insanity, says Ari Mirov of Pro Football Focus at My Sports Update. Once again, via Schefter's tweet, Russell Wilson has to agree to this, but you would assume he had already agreed to Denver if Seattle was going to do all the legwork to get a deal done with Denver. Because 1 year ago in Fargo, North Dakota, the Chicago Bears and the Seattle Seahawks met, and they were offered, 3-1s or something like that to get Russell to Chicago. This came after Team 3 expressed disinterest in returning to the Seattle Seahawks because the offensive line wasn't good enough. The offense wasn't Russ-oriented enough. I want to win Super Bowls. I want to be Russell wants to be a top 5 quarterback. Russell wants to win Super Bowls. Russell needs a better offensive line. Russell needs a little bit more say. Russell needs a better team. Russell Wilson never said any of this. This is all team 3, team 3, team 3. Then when the season got back, hey, we all love each other. Remember? John Schneider, I think, or Pete Carroll or Russ, I forget which one. Pete Carroll was doing the a press conference. Josh Schneider was there, and Russell Wilson poked his head in and said, hey, we all love each other. Yeah. I was like, well, Team 3 doesn't. I mean, the people you're around, they seem to not love what's going on. They go on to have not their best year, and we thought that these talks would get loud. Last week, Pete Carroll said, we're not shopping our quarterback. And Pete Carroll said, or Russell Wilson told an interview in Washington to JP Finley, I believe, of NBC Sports. He said, I'm in Seattle right now. It's where I'm at right now, and I love it. Both sides had to know that he was potentially on the move. Both sides had to understand what cities were available for him to move to. And the fact that he's going to Denver changes the game immediately for Seattle and for Denver, a team that everybody talked about, if Aaron was to go there, would be Super Bowl contenders. Let's assume that's the case again with Russell Wilson in there. But that division is going to be tough, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, Denver has to be super pumped to get this to happen because, like we said, they have this whole team around Russ now. You bring in Russ, bring a ton of hype, and also a guy that's an absolute stud. So I think that's a good point, Diggs. Who knows how much longer he will play, but he has plenty of great football left in him. But I start thinking about the Seahawks and what they are going to do. Like, Pete is 70-something years old. He doesn't look like it. He looks great, but who's going to be their quarterback and what's their team going to look like?
Call that bitch my bodyguard. Yeah, that's my bodyguard. Drew Lock. Come on.
I like Drew Lock.
Gino?
Yeah.
There is players involved, so
They're going to be shit. I mean, we can just say it. They're not going to be that good. All those other 3 teams are very, very good, and now the Seahawks are their best player.
And those other 3 teams are very, very happy that Russell Wilson is no longer in the NFC West.
You think Josh McDaniels turns the fight around now and just comes back from
Cliff
Vegas
even
and says,
said,
fuck it?
Cliff even said, remember?
Oh, yeah. Would love for him to get traded out. Would absolutely love for Russell Wilson to get traded out. But it was always so much like it's happening.
We said before, though, remember before this season when all this stuff was happening with Russ and the team, I think we said on the show a couple times, like, all right, yeah, Russ will be there this year, but I don't see him in Seattle after this year. We said that months and months ago.
I would say a lot of shows say that they say those things, but I do believe we had at least the conversation that, hey, this story of Russ wanting to leave last offseason after having a bad season is not going to go away. It's not going to go away. That is going to only intensify. But everybody thought with how old Pete Carroll is, he's not going to want to move on because who's better than Russell Wilson? To build a good franchise and a program, to not go into full reload, you would have to get another quarterback. The most important position has to be fulfilled. And they said Pete Carroll ain't going to, just accept anybody. Drew Lock's ready to fucking
He
ball.
likes Drew Lock.
I mean, now do we start the Tom Brady to Seattle rumors?
Oh, Pete Carroll loves competing, especially up there on that bay. And if he could just get Russell Wilson's house, which already has a field in the back of it, he's potentially trading out there. Jay Glazer now reporting. Russell had a no trade clause, but Broncos were one of the teams he said he'd waive it for. That's hashtag Jay New. But we would assume that if there was a deal that was met, Russell had already agreed on it because why would you even waste the time?
A little bit of irony there, too, with the Broncos being the team that they beat the pants off of in that Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. A defense, Legion of Boom.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
How involved do you think Pete Carroll was in this? Because this literally is contrary to everything he said he wanted to do, and I thought he had actually like quite a bit of involvement with Schneider in like the decision making process.
I'm intrigued by it all because we're not shopping the quarterback. And as soon as he said that, we were like, well, does that mean he's letting people come in?
You're not
though?
shopping them, but you're going to listen to offers.
Yeah, you're letting people come in? No, we're not going to go out and pound the pavement, but if they want to come in,
It's not like it's an official. Like it doesn't start out like some super official memo that they send to you. It could easily be a call from a buddy on the other team, the other front office. Hey, what do you guys? Is there any chance you guys would think about moving on from Russ? And then you can kind of gauge it, and then you go from there.
The Gumpy, let's make sure we give credit to Adam Schefter for that one.
Have to.
Congrats, Adam Schefter.
Right.
I wonder what the
I
commander.
mean, I'm in the insider business.
True.
Zito just said there's more breaking news. Von Miller. Oh, no, Zito. Oh, okay. Zito said just wanted to add to the conversation in my ear.
Von Miller.
Von Miller was talking
back.
about yesterday about going back there. So Von Miller, you're talking Von Miller, Russell Wilson, that entire team, and I don't know enough about them, and I do apologize to the Broncos for not knowing enough about Jens, but I guess now the whole conversation has to be the dude who was in the West Coast and maybe suffered from a little East Coast bias, now moves into Mountain Time.
That's right.
That's good.
They got
Did
weapons.
Vaughn know? Did Vaughn know that Russ was already set up to come there? Was it yesterday that Vaughn put
That's
out
what they're
that
saying, that the
Photoshop
tweets.
of him and the Broncos?
Yeah, and I thought maybe Vaughn was doing that to maybe get Aaron to go there. Personally, like in the moment, I'm like, oh, is this Vaughn being like, hey, Aaron, like if we go there, maybe it's a, hey, Russ, let's go ahead and do this thing. Sierra and Mile High and Russ. Imagine those events they're going to go to.
Oh, Denver's gorgeous.
Oh,
too.
my God.
Play for the Rockies too.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Thin air?
yeah.
Think about his training. He puts that mask on to try to get the thin air.
He's
yeah.
going to be so good. Now he's going to wear the mask, and he's actually going to be in thin air as well.
Double.
Oh my God,
He's going
in
to be trained at
space.
25,000 feet.
Yeah, he's in space. He's like that guy for Red Bull that was up there falling out of the sky.
Felix Baumgartner.
Baumgartner.
So it is now being reported that Drew Lock is going to Seattle. Tom Pelissero is reporting that the Broncos have informed quarterback Drew Lock he's been traded to Seattle as part of the Russ and Wilson deal, per sources. Pete Carroll said, I like the way a guy he dances and stuff. You know what I mean?
Probably.
Hey,
wide
Drew Lock
receiver.
still might be okay.
We don't know. I mean, that's what the Broncos fans have been asking.
For him, though, I'm actually happy for him being a part of this. He's going to get a change of scenery. I'm sure it'll be fun. Everyone talks when you get to Seattle with Pete and the whole system, how much energy, how much positivity is around. Maybe it'll be a good change.